40s, the Klan lost its status as a charity, according to the Internal Revenue Service, because of work that Stetson did. In 1962, Stetson was hired by Florida Memorial College to facilitate the move to Miami. He was hired as development director. So during the demonstrations here, Stetson had two responsibilities. One, he was a reporter for the Pittsburgh Courier, which was the leading African-American newspaper in America at the time. So he was documenting and reporting to the African-American community across America what was going on here in St. Augustine. And if you've seen how little that was covered in Florida newspapers, you understand how significant that was. But Dr. Puryear was concerned greatly for the safety of these young people. You've seen the violence in the films of this event. But those who participated in it, including Andrew Young, have affirmed that it was among the most violent demonstrations in which they ever did. J.T. Vivian is quoted as saying, Birmingham was violent, but they beat us up every night in St. Augustine like that. So we cannot underestimate the valor, the risk, and the sacrifice that every one of you who was part of that, every one of you who came down to the plaza and faced that violence and that nastiness and that threat. We cannot repay to you ever the debt in the name of democracy that we owe you. But there are four people who suffered more than any of the rest of us were asked to. The St. Augustine for, and Tony has eloquently touched your hearts in letting you know that. But as I rise on behalf of my husband to honor these four remarkable young people, two with us and two only through their families, there are three things I'd like to bring home to you. It was not just their sacrifice. They could do what they did because their families supported them. The four went to jail because they refused to stop marching, and they refused to implicate Dr. Hayling in an effort to try to convict him for contributing to the delinquency of minors. And so, can you imagine sending your teenage son or daughter off to a place as degrading as the Reform School in Ocala, or as obviously threatening as we find out today, to the brutality of the Reform School in Mariana, where today corpses are being unearthed and studied because of the violence of the time? These families were every bit as brave as the young people who faced those mobs and faced that degradation for us. And so it is my very great, one final comment that I think we all need to appreciate. The consequences for these four people, these five people, including Dr. Hayling, did not stop when the demonstrations did. They were charged with conspiracy, a felony. It was not until I read Dr. Colburn's book that I realized the legal storm that Judge Mathis's ruling to send these young people to Mariana had created. So if I might ask the St. Augustine Four to come up, and Willie Carl and Sam while they're coming up here, I want you to know that they faced consequences of lost opportunities for the rest of their lives because they were felons for justice. Felons for justice. They were denied scholarships. They were denied housing. Audrey now came to live with Stetson and me for a while because of the lack of the consequences of some